So y'all already know if I'm back. Y'all already know what that means. Y'all already know the vibes. I know. I feel like this is a recurring thing, but it's okay. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of my journey. It's a part of my life. We are a year and a half in now from me moving to Charlotte, and I just feel like I've been very quiet. For me to be a social media person, for me to be... everyone for a minute kept asking me, you know, why you moved to Charlotte, why you moved to Charlotte. And I did tell y'all that, you know, me moving to Charlotte was for a better opportunity, which it was. When I initially decided to move to Charlotte, too quiet as to when things happen in my life that make me feel away or that I'm upset about or that I may need to hold accountability, hold somebody else accountable. I just be too quiet. Yeah, I've seen me go through this multiple times. Initially, when I first decided to move to Charlotte, I decided to move to Charlotte off the strength of my family member asking me, but that's also another reason why I didn't want to go. A family member of mine, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. So my brother moved out of New York about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, a little bit before my father passed away. I was kind of left to fend for myself. My whole life I had to fend for myself, but that's another conversation for another day. That was around the same time that, I don't know if y'all recall, I did not have top surgery at the time. I was initially getting myself ready to do so. That was pre-COVID. So 2020, when COVID happened, I was still working at my restaurant job. I've worked at my restaurant job for 8 years. And I was living in my apartment in the Bronx, which y'all recall that apartment as well, because I was on YouTube a lot in that apartment. He left, he moved to Charlotte. He moved to Atlanta. And when he moved, I had to take care of the bills on my own, take care of the light bill, the gas bill, the apartment. My apartment was about $2,200 or $2,500 per month, with all the bills and everything included. Beautiful apartment, 2-bedroom, nice. I was a bit young. I wouldn't say like super young. I was 25, but I didn't know too much. That was my first official apartment with my name on the lease and things like that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try my best to pay the rent on my own. And that's what I did. I tried to pay the rent on my own, do everything, you know, with personal training, working, content creating, just doing everything that I've been doing, just hustling to try to pay the bills. I don't like to ask people for help. I never really usually ask for help. If I do, then that means I need it bad, real bad. So I didn't ask anything. I chucked it up. I was not speaking to my dad. So it wasn't like I could just go to my dad and just be like, hey, I need this. That wasn't something easy for me to do in my family ever, to ask anyone for anything, because whenever I ask for help, I whether get looked at as if I'm slow or if something's wrong with me, or I get the no because I'm used to fending for myself. So I don't get help often. And over time, people kept telling me, you're so strong, you're so great, you're so independent, you're so this, and it's like, it's cool until you really it's cool for people to be strong, but it's also cool for y'all to see when someone really is like, needs to be prioritized just for a little bit, so that they can also be. So now, I'm gonna also tell y'all, this is not easy for me to do. This is not easy for me to talk about. This is not easy for me to say. People might come on here and say, oh, keep your personal life off of social media, keep this, keep that. Reason why I'm not keeping anything off social media anymore is because when people see me every day, they think that my life is a cloud of blue skies, and it is not. They think that I have it made. They think that I don't suffer. They think I don't go through anything. They think I don't need money. They think that I'm financially stable. They think that I am living the American dream, and it's like, no, I am struggling every day to keep my head above water. And I need the people around me or who want to be around me to understand that or leave me alone. I am so serious. I think I've spent enough time biting my tongue, holding things down. And this stems from way before. And I needed my mom to kind of like give me a wake-up call, to be honest, to let me know, like, I know what child I sent to America. I was always vocal. I always spoke my mind. I always said what I thought. I always said how I felt. And ever since moving to America for the last 20 years, I feel like I've not been able to really speak my mind and really talk how I talk, really be in my confidence stage. And I've reached that stage. I finally got to that point where I have no point to prove to anyone. I have nothing to be embarrassed about. I have nothing to be upset about. I have no one I'm mad at. I am thriving in the best of the ways that I can, so that now I can finally tell the world what the hell I have been through in this life in the past 20 years. Like, I will decipher it. 2 years before my father passed away, it was COVID. COVID was a little tough for me. Do you want to come live out here? Come help me with my restaurant. Come help. At the time, he was managing the restaurant. You want this for me? You want that for me? Cool. I said, nah, I'm good. Because I never felt safe around family. As weird as it is to say, you know, not just during my transition, but before my transition. Like, I'm a woman before my transition, living with 3 men. It was my dad, my brothers. You feel me? So for me, I should have always been protected or felt like I was in a safe space, but I never felt that way. I always felt like I was fighting for my life by myself. So whenever he wanted me to go somewhere with him or be with him somewhere or do something, it was like, But I always looked up to my brothers. I always looked up to, the things that they will accomplish. Because if you don't look up to the people in your life that will make you better, why would you want to be around them? So for me, it was like, okay, you own 2 restaurants. You got a lot going for yourself. You are the example of who I want to be. Fast forward to 2024. That's when 2023, sorry, that's when everything started. We started doing Christmases after my dad passed away. I kind of requested that, let's get better and closer as a family, because I'm a family man. I love the idea of sitting down for Thanksgiving together as a family, Christmas as a family, eating at a table. Just spending time with family as a whole has always been a thing for me. So I enjoyed that. Every time I was around family, I would smile. I would be so happy. I was like, yeah, I want to do this all the time. And when I was in New York in 2023, all my friends had moved away. I had a couple of friends go to VA, Atlanta, Jersey. Like, all my friends just basically moved away. So I felt like I was by myself in New York. So I was like, you know what? Now's not a bad time to move away, go with family, move to Charlotte. Cool. Keep in mind, I had a job where I was working as an operation manager at a Japanese restaurant. If you follow me too, then you know. If you know a little bit of details, then you know. If you don't, stick with the journey. If I come back and tell you everything in detail, then I do. If not, I am always on TikTok, Instagram, and everything else. So I was making $85,000 a year in New York. So roughly about $1,200 a week after taxes. Nothing too shabby, nothing too crazy. Obviously, with me networking, getting bonuses, everything like that, I was making decent money, but it wasn't money that could get me to where I wanted to go in New York. And then I wasn't taking my personal training seriously because I was in and out of 9 to 5, and I wasn't taking content creating seriously, as y'all could see as well, because I had too much on my plate and not enough help, okay, to what I wanted to do. So December, I started contemplating my move. My brother and I talked about it a couple of times. I don't think he took me seriously, which I understand, because for years I didn't want to move. I kept saying, no, I don't want to move. I don't want to go nowhere, since he moved. So December, I told my girl, hey, I'm about to turn 30. I kind of want to have my license at 30. So I went and I got my license. Now, keep in mind, this wasn't personally for me to move to Charlotte, but I knew that if I wanted to move to Charlotte, that's another thing I would have to do, which was to get my license. So I decided to go work. It took me like, I signed up to Harlem Driving School. It's right there on 140. Ooh, it's in Harlem. Just Google it. Great place. I passed my test one time and done. Like, I told myself I would get it. I paid for it, went, got my own driving license. And to some people that might be like, oh, why is he telling us about getting his driving license? It's a big deal for me. It's a big deal in New York, because I never needed to drive in New York. So now that I needed to drive, for me, it was like, if you're gonna move there, you're gonna need it. I got it before my birthday, 16 days before. I was hyped. Told my brother about it. I was like, yo, I got my license. This was before Christmas. Keep in mind, I ain't getting no real congratulations, no real like, ooh, little bro got his license, his lit, you feel me? We outside, type of, I ain't get that. Cool, say less. After that, I think Christmas, my girl, myself, y'all remember that too. I went over with family, my niece. I love my niece. Like, it was great. And from there, we locked it in. I said, yo, give me 2 months. One thing about me, I am a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, procrastination and anxiety be messing with me, so I procrastinate a lot. So I might tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to procrastinate, but I'm going to do it. But if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to do something for you, or I'm going to give you something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to not show up. I'm going to do it. So sometimes it kills me to cancel on people. It kills me to tell somebody that I'm going to do something, I end up not doing it, Like in Christmas, when I tell you my girl was there, it was great. Now it was time to go back to New York. I go back to New York. I'm talking to my, owners, my partners. I'm like, hey, I'm moving to New York. I'm moving from New York. I'm about to go live with my brother in Charlotte. Yada, yada, yada. So they're asking me, they're like, how much do you need for us to keep you? We'll give you 80, we'll give you 90, we'll give you 100K a year. I'm like, damn, 100K a year sounds great, but do I put that above family? I want to be able to stay with my brother, my niece, like get closer. And when we spoke, my brother and I, for me to come down, I'm not going to talk about too many details, but when we spoke, I asked for a few things. Because me, I'm a man of comfort. I'm a hustler, so I will do everything I got to do on my own. But I also would love comfort, because when you're not comfortable in your space mentally, you will not be able to function. People take what I say in that sense as me being picky or me wanting the finest things of life or blah, 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 blah. But I don't think anyone in their right mind will leave a bad circumstance to end up back in a bad circumstance. It just doesn't make sense. So for me to move, these were the agreements that we set up, besides verbal agreements or anything like that. Because again, I'm not going to put everything in details here, right? It was pretty simple. I asked for me to have whether a place to stay, meaning an apartment, not for it to be paid off, but for me to have one. And also for me to have, or a car. Now, if you're moving someone as a business, if you're moving anyone from one place, you're relocating them from one place to the next, you have to kind of provide a lot of different things. Whether it's housing, relocation packages, you name it, you have to provide something. Now, me being the person I am, that I usually am, I always take the bare minimum for myself, as if I think that I don't deserve better. I ended up with $45,000 a year in a relocation package. It was a verbal agreement where I was supposed to get whether an apartment or a car. February comes, I move. It's time for me to move to Charlotte. I'm cutting some things in the middle off because this story is gonna get longer than y'all think. Because honestly, y'all, I am tired of holding like my mouth. I'm tired. So yeah. So February comes. It's time for me to move to Charlotte. I've never driven in my life. Besides that December where I got my license from driving in the driving school cars, I've probably driven my coworker. Her name is Amanda. Shout out to you, Amanda, who helped me get my driving for like 2 days. And then shout out to one of my clients. It's so crazy. This is like a 360 or 180, whatever you want to call it, because of how everything is turning out for me. My client Pat at the time also was driving, and because I didn't know how to drive, she also gave me lessons. She would pick me up in the morning, give me lessons on driving, parking, things like that. But I was kind of scared. Like, no lie, yeah, I got muscles, yeah, I go to the gym, but I'm a little kid under here. Like, you know, I don't know a lot of things. I'm not responsible when it comes to a lot of like grown-up things. You feel me? Like a car, fixing a car, cutting grass. I just learned how to cut grass. Taking care of a home. Like I'm one of those people. I know what I don't know, and I know what I know. And I'm able to tell you, hey, I don't know this, I don't know that. However, I hate when I tell someone I don't know how to do something or I don't know something, and they actually take it as me being a dummy versus I'm just ignorant of what that is. Can you show me? Can you teach me? I've always felt like I could never ask for help to be taught something, or for someone to actually guide me through something, or put me in a position to be like, yo, I'm gonna help you do this. I'm gonna give you that because you are asking for it. Because I don't ask. So when I ask, for me, it upsets me and makes me feel very hurt when people make it so hard for me to get it. All right, so I asked a lot of people. Who can drive me to Charlotte, from New York to Charlotte. I asked my brother. Keep in mind, if you're moving me, right, from one place to the next, you technically as a business, let's start there. As a business, you should have my moving situation sorted. I left that to the side. As my brother, my older brother at that, you should be like, yo, little bro, don't worry, I got you. We gonna make sure all your stuff is moved. You ain't gotta drive 10, 11, 12 hours to come out here for the first time in your life, because I've never driven before. Cool. But one thing about JCon, I put my mind to something, it's gonna get done. Whether it gets done recklessly or the proper way, it's gonna get done. But just joking, it ain't get done. I ain't wrecked nothing. So it's time for me to move. I think I asked a few people, like I asked a lot of people, honestly speaking. Like thinking back, at first I was like, oh, maybe I didn't ask enough people, maybe I didn't do this the right way. I asked for like a month in advance. I asked. Some people had, valid reasons. Some people just couldn't do it. And I'm not, and if you're watching this, please do not think like, don't sit there and be like, oh, I wish he would have asked me, or oh, I wish I would have said yes to him. I'm past that, like things happen. I'd rather you put yourself first, but I'm just putting it out there because I feel like I held a lot in for a long time, a year and a half of just sitting there, not saying nothing to nobody and just living life. So it's just time for me to talk about it. Period. I don't care who. Nobody should feel offended. Nobody should feel no type of way. If you do, that's on you. This is my story to tell, so I could care less. I'm not bashing anybody in this. I'm putting myself in this too, and whatever you want to take out of this is up to you. So when I got here, keep in mind, as I said, I've never driven before. So now it's time for me to come. The week before, I asked again, hey, contract signed, everything. On my contract, I have paperwork on my contract on what my pay is per year. Keep in mind, this is me, JCon. And I have such a bad imposter syndrome that I didn't realize I am so known in New York that I would be so known in Charlotte. I made a reel for Instagram. If you go back on my Instagram, you can see the reel. Literally everything that happened in that reel, I did it by myself to come here. I came to Charlotte by myself. I cleaned up my whole apartment by myself. I put all my clothes away and packed everything from that apartment by myself. I loaded my truck up the day that I was leaving a city that I lived in for 20 years by myself. The whole truck. I ain't set up a tripod just to set up a tripod. Everything that y'all seen in that video, I did it by myself. The only person who stayed on the phone with me was my girlfriend for probably about, I think, 6 to 7 hours of that drive. The rest of the way she slept, but she was still on the phone. I want y'all to picture this, right? Imagine you lived in a city since you came to America. And now it's time for you to leave. You are excited. You're letting people around you know, your family, your friends. Like, everybody knows you are moving to this city. I hate, my biggest pet peeve, do not ask me what do I need or if I need anything if you're not going to really do it. Do not ask me. I think that's my newest thing now. Don't say anything you're not going to do. Or don't ask me just to ask. Because it's going to piss me off. And then when I say what I got to say, then I'm looked at as a bad guy. I'm in a new era where I say what I have to say. Don't BS me. Because my tolerance level has gotten short. I think it's because I turned 32. Maybe I was definitely supposed to move to Charlotte to feel all of this. So I want y'all to picture this. Me, I only had my license for about 3 months. I've driven a car once, a different car from my driving lessons twice, from two people for an hour and a half. I've never driven a car or a rental or whatever by myself. I booked a Turo, a white van, packed everything on my own, drove myself to Charlotte, from New York City to Charlotte. I started my drive at 5 p.m. at night. On my way there, I made sure to pack everything and be ready to go before I called anybody. Because I don't want nobody putting fear into my heart. 2, I don't want anybody to tell me I can't do something. That's another problem that I have. I hate when I say I want to shoot for the moon and somebody next to me tell me, oh, you're too short to shoot for the moon. You're too black to shoot for the moon. If I say I'm going to shoot for the sky, I'm going to shoot for the sky. I'm going to be delusional for whatever it is I want out of life. All right? So to Charlotte, and I laid it out too, was for me to be able to live my dreams. I've always wanted to be a content creator. Ever since I actually became a YouTuber and stuff like that, I was like, I like this. You know, I get to express myself again, going back to me not being able to speak up often. So whenever I got the chance to go on social media, it was my way to be able to, you know, open up a bit, be a bit free, because I cannot do it in person with people. I'm very shy, I'm very standoffish, I have anxiety. So sometimes you might see me talking a lot, dancing, and then sometimes you might see me in the corner, quiet, because I'm observing. Like, I go through different stages. But coming and sitting in front of a screen has always felt comfortable for me because I'm by myself in a room and I can just express myself. I can just be me. And then I post it. And then when you see me in person, everybody thinks that I'm such a talkative person. I'm not. I'm a normal dude that just likes to have conversations. All right? So I get to Charlotte. Well, before I get to Charlotte, I'm in the van. So I'm calling everybody like, yo, I'm on my way. They're like, oh, you driving by yourself? I'm like, yeah. Talk to you later. I will call you when I'm like about to take my nap. Whoop-de-whoop. I call my brother. I'm like, yo, I'm about to be on my way. He like, wait, you driving yourself? I'm like, yeah. He like, oh, I'm going to take. Keep in mind, this dude is like, talking about he's scared of heights. He don't take planes. Cool. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not asking you to take a plane. You don't got to take a plane. Drive your little brother. Like, drive me to where you want me to be so I can work for you. So, like, make it make sense that you're not driving me, or you're not setting nothing up for me. I had to set everything up for myself to get to Charlotte, get my savings together, get things set up a certain way. Again, I'm not gonna disclose like amounts and things like that. I'm gonna try to keep that, at the minimal, because my safety also matters. And I'm gonna put that out there too, y'all. Y'all gotta remember, as much as I think I'm a regular person, I'm this regular dude from the Ivory Coast, I actually realized in Charlotte that I am not. Like, I caused a little bit of ruckus. Like, I just didn't know that I was him like that, y'all. Like, I did not know. And it took me to get out of New York to realize that, yo, I got motion, y'all. And I think it bothers a lot of people that is how I'm set up. But back to the story. So keep in mind, y'all can ask y'all questions to the story and, ask, and I will fill it in as I go on. This is going to be part 1. This is just me moving to Charlotte. This is nothing that went down yet. I need people to know, like, I'm tired of holding this in, and I feel like people got me messed up bad. Like, y'all got me messed up bad. So, pay for my own rental. Now, also, I want y'all to also picture this. I had to put savings away, okay, before I arrived to Charlotte, because imagine you uprooting your whole life from being a general manager, operation manager, to content creator, to trying to. I drove all the way to Charlotte by myself, got here. I believe it was 6, 7 a.m. I literally drove into a McDonald's drive-thru, and as soon as I got through that McDonald's drive-thru, the girl that was at the window actually recognized me and was like, "Oh my God, you're from New York, aren't you that YouTuber?" Da, 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 da. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I just moved to Charlotte, actually." And she was hyped. It actually made me very happy. That was like the highlight of my first day in Charlotte to move. That was not my first time in Charlotte. I've came to Charlotte multiple times. I know what the city is about, but like, whenever I go to a state, I'm in and out. I come in for something and I leave out. So when I got to the drive-thru, I got my food. I get to my brother's house, call him. He comes down. He's all hype. "Oh my God, you made it in one piece. Oh, okay, you did your thing." Da, 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 da. I'm hyped too at the time. A lot of things going on me down the line, and I will touch upon that. But for me, now looking back, it's like, you didn't think I would make it there in one piece. That's one, because that was my first time driving ever. I drove 12 hours by myself on the highway for the first time by myself. Ever in a van for the first time ever. Like, even when I tell people this story in person, when they talk to me, they're like, yo, people do not believe the things that I say to them, and I haven't even gotten to the tip. Like, I get to the house, I'm exhausted. Like, when I say tired, I was tired. I go upstairs, I sleep, I took a nap. I think it was about like 4 or 5 p.m., something like that. I woke up. It's time for me to go to the storage to put my stuff away, because I have to drive the van that I took. I had to drive it back. I literally moved to New York, to Charlotte, I believe February 28th. Do not quote me on that. I'm going to try to correct it if it's different. But I moved to Charlotte February 28th of 2024. I had to drive myself back the next day, and I booked a flight out of my own pocket, okay, for me to fly back to Charlotte after dropping the car off, because I took a Toro. I didn't take a U-Haul. I could not afford a U-Haul at the time, because U-Haul was charging me about $1,500. Y'all look at me as this Instagrammer, TikToker, Facebooker. I work hard. All the money that I have, most of it is from social media, true, but a lot of it comes from me working my 9-to-5s and personal training. Because of my inconsistency, I've never really touched the numbers that other YouTubers and other content creators make. Do I make good money? Yes. Did I blow away my money a lot with not being able to manage it and the things that I could have done? Absolutely. Have I gotten better and smarter? You bet your ass I am. Didn't bring any furniture, thank God. So like all my clothes, everything, all my sneakers that I've ever had, ever owned. If you watch back in my old videos, you will also see, even when I did the raffle, and y'all will find out what happened with the raffle too. Oh my God. Yo, y'all gonna look at me and be like, I just wanna hug him. I just wanna love on him. Like, how is he still surviving? That's what my girl says all the time. She'd be like, I just wanna hug on you, and because you just, like, honestly speaking, I had to have people tell me this for me to know that, yo, you on survival mode every single day, bro. You've been on survival mode every day. Myself, drove back to New York by myself. Took the plane from New York to Charlotte by myself. I get to Charlotte, everything's cool. First week here is cool. Second week, things are okay. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm not gonna go into details of my living situations, but just keep in mind when I was in New York, I had a 2-bedroom that my best friend helped me get, that I was in. Was it the most beautiful house ever? No. But it was a great living house. I was comfortable. I was okay. I was doing good. I was okay. I left that to basically regress. I'm staying with multiple people in the home, right? Keep in mind, I am 29, not comfortable with my living conditions, because at the end of the day, again, as I spoke in the beginning, I'm a man of comfort, and I made it very clear what I needed to move into when I moved to Charlotte. I was cool sleeping in certain conditions for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. When the first month came, for me, it became like, all right, I don't have any privacy. I can't really, I gotta keep in mind too, like me being trans, it's not easy navigating life. Like, yeah, do I have more privilege because I'm passable? Absolutely. Like, I know the vibes. I know who I am. I know what, like, if it wasn't for me being JC on the YouTuber, nobody's seeing me in person and thinking trans. I'm sure people see me, encounter me, and go about their business, and then see me on social media and be like, wait, what? I'm sure of that. I don't move around in my life as if trans, but that's what my life is about. Like, if you Google me, that's what you're gonna find out. So I don't deny it, but I don't walk around with it on my forehead. So therefore, even around family, I don't move like I'm trans. I just move like I'm a man, bro. You feel me? So as a man, I need my privacy. Point blank, period. Like, I need my privacy. I need to be able to function. I need to be able to feel independent. I need to be able to feel free. I cannot be in a cluster. And if you're a man out there, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Even if you don't agree with my lifestyle as a trans man, that's your business. But as a man, if you're a man out there, you want to have your own bed, your own crib, your own money, your own car, your own everything. As a man, I don't know who will not feel handicapped or unaccomplished if he don't got his own stuff, his own motion. That's why dudes be going out there to steal and rob. I mean, that's not the way to go, but that's why niggas do it. Because you need to own, you have to, that's where your power is at. As a man, you have to own something. Bro, I came out here, I felt like a bum, bro. Straight up. Like, somebody even told me I fell off. I was like, yeah, I needed that. Like Drake said. I know you're not riding with Drake right now, but dead ass. Like, I came out here feeling like a bum. I had money in my savings, cool, but I didn't have nothing here of my own. I had nothing but a bunch of sneakers and a bunch of clothes. I have no clients. I'm not personal training. I'm literally doing nothing. Like, look, yo, when I say I felt like a bum, I I stopped YouTube. I stopped going live. I was going live in the beginning, and it just felt like it kept being an issue. And like, there's other things I'm gonna talk about that I'm gonna touch up on when I first arrived to Charlotte. It's gonna be like different loops of trees of why I moved to Charlotte, what's been happening to me, bro. Like, this shit is a movie. Like, yo, they should really make a movie about this. Like, so much has happened. I have no motion, y'all. No motion. Not no one-on-one clients. And I think I had probably like 2 online clients. I was struggling so bad. And I was working 16 hours a day. And keep in mind, I'm working for my own sibling's restaurant, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, with 1 day off. I'm gonna tell y'all the rest on part 2. I gotta go. See y'all on the next one.